Welcome to the Luna Holistic Podcast. I'm your host, Geneva Robbins, and every month on this podcast, we'll talk about Reiki, as well as answering your questions on all things spiritual. We are gratefully located in Calgary in Treaty 7 territory. Thank you all and welcome to the show. Welcome to the Luna Holistic Podcast. We're so grateful you are here. My name is Geneva Robbins. I am a Reiki master here in Calgary, and I have with me Alisia Marie, who is also a Reiki master here in Calgary with us at Luna Holistic. Say hi, Alisia.
Hi, how is everybody today? Thank you, Geneva, for having me. I am so excited to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. And so looking forward to chatting with you today about all things Reiki and spirituality. And this time, our topic is on mental health and helping people with alleviate depression and anxiety, or bring a few more tools and resources into your pocket, because we all need all of the resources and tools in our pockets as we can jam in there, because this stuff is real, right?
Yes, I agree 100%.
Right? Yes. And we'll start with a little collective breath of gratitude. So it's like a little teeny tiny meditation. If you happen to be driving or operating some sort of moving vehicle carriage thing, don't close your eyes, and maybe even skip ahead so you don't get lulled into a deeply altered state. But otherwise, if you're in a safe space and you can close your eyes, we invite you to close your eyes and just take a few deeper breaths, maybe even a nice big sigh of relief. Just noticing the land that you're sitting on right now, the earth just below you, deep, deep, deep below you, spreading out all around you. Just sending an energy of gratitude into the earth that's supporting you. Noticing the tug of gravity, keeping you held safely on the planet. Noticing the plants and trees that are growing all around you. The birds and animals and insects. Sending all of the life around you a big wish of gratitude, noticing all of that life and energy, how the plants fill the air with oxygen. Take another deep breath, expanding up tall, taking up lots of room. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Alisia.
Thank you very much. That was wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe we can start with a little introduction. You are a Reiki master here with us at Luna Holistic. How did you get into doing Reiki? What drew you into doing this work?
Oh, I was in Reiki for the first time. I believe it was 2009 in a retreat in Quebec. So I had practiced with two different ladies, and it was the most amazing experience. So I've carried that on throughout my life. And then I had some babies, and I have two children. I met Geneva back in 2016.
Yeah. I think
it was. Yeah.
16 or 17.
16 or 17. And then during that time, I knew that Reiki was the place for me to continue, because it allows you to heal in such phenomenal ways that a lot of other resources that I personally have tried haven't allowed me to move forward in a well-rounded way. And so Reiki for me has allowed that healing in all aspects of my life, from physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional. So this is why I've stuck with it. And here we are today.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, that's so great to hear. Yeah, I love this Reiki stuff. And I'm always fascinated to hear more about people's Reiki journeys because it leads you into all kinds of interesting epiphanies and helps you with all kinds of things. One of the questions that I get asked a lot in Reiki classes and with people who come in as clients, and you've probably heard this or similar kinds of questions along your Reiki journey as a Reiki master and practitioner. And one of them is, how do I stay clear and emotionally centered as an empath and highly sensitive person? What do you do? Or what do you recommend to people, Alisia?
That is a really great question because I am definitely highly sensitive and an empath for sure. Like I just feel other people's feelings just by looking at their face, and it creates, for me personally, whether they're good feelings or bad feelings or positive or negative, they create a lot of at times anxiety, which, can filter and spiral. So for me, what I do is I always make sure that I have time to ground myself, because if I ground myself, I can then become a little bit more clear and focused on the emotions that, nope, those are not my emotions. They're somebody else's. And if they are mine, then I allow my heart chakra to really kick in and really feel the feelings, whether they're positive or whether they're negative. And as long as I really feel them to the full capacity, I'm able to move through pretty much any emotion, any situation that I go through, whether that's in my university courses, that's being a mother, that's being a friend, a wife. I can move through all of those emotions in the most positive way as humanly possible. And that is because I choose to find myself and find the grounding first. And that's really what it ultimately boils down to.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And if you don't mind, take us into like your process, especially with the heart, because I know like when we have a racing mind, it can just keep us spiraling in the feeling, and it's like circling the drain. I've got these crazy wild thoughts and they're just whipping me up into this spiral. And if I don't do something to disrupt my thoughts, then I can stay stuck in the feeling for weeks, weeks and weeks. Yes. What do you do in particular with your heart and feeling the feelings of sort of getting out of the mind spin, the spin cycle?
That's like you word. I was just, as you were wording it, I was thinking, I'm like, that is so true on all levels, because sometimes you get stuck in your own head and then your thoughts spiral, which that can cause anxiety, or that can cause depression, or any other different multiple forms of mental health. But what happens is, for me, when I access the heart chakra, it really allows me to open up to a more positive side of things, because everybody has a beautiful heart and everybody is full and capable of love. And I think during the times of chaos, when your mind's spiraling out of control, those are the times where you forget, because it's so easy it's like surfing the internet or scrolling through the feeds. You just scroll and you scroll and you search and you forget the main purpose of what you were trying to search for. So instead, it's with opening your heart chakra, you remember what the main purpose is, whether that's love, whether that's kindness, whether that's trying to help a friend in need or trying to help yourself, whether you're in a stressful situation or whether you're trying to be just a human, because that's hard enough these days. So when I open up my heart chakra, what that looks like is just pure love and light. And for me, because I have two sons, those are the images that come to my mind right away, because those two boys mean the world to me and they're like my whole being. So I just focus on them, and then my heart chakra just opens up to like an extraordinary, I'm getting teary-eyed, like just an extraordinary experience. So then I'm able to regain my focus and regain why I chose to be in that situation, or how or if I got into a situation, whether it's studying, whether I'm driving, whether I'm stuck in traffic, because all of the things on a day-to-day basis do trigger myself on the daily. So I find that I'm always trying to figure out, like, okay, like just be calm. It's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. And as long as you have like just that one positive thought that can access your heart chakra, you're able to move through mountains. And that's how I do that.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. So it's almost like coming back to your heart and coming back to sort of a touchstone of connecting into a great feeling of love or compassion or kindness, and maybe bringing up, your kids or your pets, or even like I find nature is one of those things that connects me back into my heart, like being outside, being able to breathe, like coming back to gratitude connects me into my heart. And yeah. And then also just like noticing what's happening in my body is one of the ways that I do that, is noticing how each thought has a feeling in the body. And we can put words to the feeling, like depression or anxiety, or I'm feeling low or sad or feeling amped up or hyper, but those come with a particular flavor. So it's like, oh, I'm feeling tension in my stomach, or my heart is racing, or I notice my breathing is off, or I can't really feel my feet, like I'm not really fully present or fully embodied, which I think was nice when you were talking about grounding, of just sort of connecting back in to the energy going all the way through your body and connecting in with the earth energy, and sort of letting everything balance with a few like settling breaths. That's kind of where I head there. But
yes, that's wonderful. Awareness in nature, definitely a huge game changer.
Yeah. I am a huge fan of going for nature walks, and you can do this in the middle of a busy city, and you just go out and you just look for nature moving. So the wind through the trees, see if you can spot any birds or squirrels, just taking notice of the weather, the changing season, the clouds in the sky, that kind of thing, because all of that's happening real time, and it brings you back to the present moment awareness. And when you're in the present, you're not thinking about the past, you're not thinking about the future. And that to me is where anxiety and worry live, is in the past and the future. And your mind just takes you on a wild, wild ride. But so as soon as you can come back to what are you sensing inside your body, what are you sensing outside your body, it sort of reconnects back in. So yeah.
Yeah, that was beautifully said. That is 100% true. I definitely agree with you.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Like minds.
Yes.
I am guessing that our listeners are probably also very highly sensitive, empathic people. And I just want to encourage all of you who are listening, you're not alone. Look, there's two of us right here.
Yes, you're not. We're here for you.
Yes. And that's one of the gifts of being highly sensitive, is that you are a big feeler. Like you feel everything, which can be challenging, but it is also one of your greatest gifts and skills. And particularly if you're drawn to helping people, it makes you a rock star at helping people. And that's such a huge thing. One of the techniques that I also use, and I'm curious how you, Alisia, how you use it as well, is I make sure I pay attention to my aura. And for those of you who don't know what an aura is, it's basically your electromagnetic field that goes all around your body. It sort of is this energy container. So we're made up of physical matter, but we're also made up of energy. And that energy that we feel within our body and flows through our chakras, and it flows through us as Reiki, it's connected to everything in the universe. And we are basically sitting in bubbles of this energy. And when we pay attention to the energy that surrounds our body, and you can learn techniques to basically clear that energy and make sure you're basically in this very bright, vibrant, clear light. Usually how you feel when your aura is clear and strong and bright is you feel settled and in your own container, and sort of like, things can slide off you like Teflon or water off a duck's back. Like other people's emotions, you can be a compassionate witness to them, but you're not absorbing them or taking them on, and they're not taking you under or taking you down, maybe even. And so grounding is a huge one. I love that you mentioned coming back to the heart, but the aura is always really, really big for me. And so for me, like the simplest thing is just imagine you're sitting in a bubble of light. And that's one of the things that I fell in love with Reiki about, is because all of a sudden I had a technique or a tool to move that Reiki energy through my body, but also circulate it around my aura. And as soon as I started doing that, I all of a sudden felt safe and contained and clear and better able to be respectful to others and leave them be. Like I didn't have to try to coerce people into better moods so that I could feel better. So that sort of like trying to please everybody because I can feel their discomfort so much is shooting straight through into my soul that I want to crawl out of my own skin. And so the aura is sort of like one of the ways that I take care of it is, through Reiki and meditation, and just even that visualization brings the energy there. So that's been a huge, huge tool. And I definitely learned that in Reiki, and it definitely helps me tremendously. And it's one of the things that we do when we do Reiki sessions is we basically help you maintain that energy. So even if you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, it sounds, you might as well be talking about the other side of the moon. I don't know how to do that. Don't worry, you can get help clearing your aura, and Reiki lasts a long time, much longer than the end of the session. It's beyond time and space. So it really goes with you and can sort of keep you in that nice little bubble for a long time. That's my little blurb about how much I love the aura and how much I love Reiki. Alisia, what's your experience with the aura and just sort of navigating lots of energy, highly energetic environments as a very sensitive person?
I love your description of the aura, and I definitely agree. And with my experience, the aura is very important because it's essentially everything you said. It's the energy you give off. It's the energy that other people give off. It bounces back and forth because it's like a real live molecule, right? Mm-hmm. So what I do is, and really, maybe situations, if I'm going to write an exam, for example, or if we're going to go on a family trip to Vancouver and we're driving a long distance, the aura for me is also about energy and also about protection. I do this a lot with my kids, especially if they're nervous for their first day of school, or like, Mom, I have a big event coming up. I'm like, okay, let's change our aura. Let's bring out the bright white light. And we, I ask them what does it feel and what does it look like to you? And my older one says, it's like superpower heroes. I'm like, okay. And my little one's like, it's sparkly, like a rainbow. I was like, yes. Mm-hmm. So we just picture whatever comes to mind on that day, because it changes from a day-to-day basis, just like energy does. And that's the part that I really appreciate with the aura. And for me, it's always a little bit of sparkle in there, but you just cover yourself with it. And that for my family works really well, whether we're going on long trips, for us on a personal level, we cover our vehicles because we're so paranoid of anything happening, and we want good energy around our vehicles so nobody hits it. And same with us, as we don't want to be hit by anything. So the aura for us is really important. It's one of the biggest compacts of life and one of the biggest compacts of Reiki, because it's like a vibe. Everybody feels it, whether they want to call it an aura or an energy or a vibe. No bad vibes, all good vibes. That's how we try to move forward and how we try to live as a family. And when it comes to Reiki sessions with clients of mine in the past, I've had them specifically say your aura is amazing, or my aura is amazing, or how do we get our auras up and running? Okay, here's your tools. As long as you can create, I think, on a personal level, then your aura should always be however you choose it to be. And majority of the time it's positive and it's happy. And if it can't be positive or it can't be happy, like that's okay too. Everybody has their days. So that's the really cool part about the auras. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. It's just such an interchangeable way. And I love it so much.
Oh, that's so great. I love that you use that as a tool for your kiddos. It's really big. And that reminds me, there is a rainbow tree meditation for kids. It's a chakra and aura clearing meditation. And it's just a few sketches on the website. But yeah, so we have got lots and lots of resources on our website. So if you go to lunaholistic.com/resources, you'll see the link to the rainbow tree meditation because it's that good. But basically it's like, yeah, it's a little practice you can do with your kids, or big kids can do it too, where you basically like pretend you're a tree and you bring energy into each of your chakras, imagine each of the rainbow colors in each of the chakras, all the way down to your feet. So you get a little bit of grounding, and then you pull the energy up all around you like a big bubble or balloon all around you to 100%. And that's something that came about when my son was very little and he would have nightmares. So we would do the rainbow tree every night, and it kind of kept the nightmares away.
Okay, so Geneva, I have a question for you. As a business owner, with all of the world changes that have happened in the past and the current that are always going to continue to happen, how have yourself and Luna Holistic moved forward in such a strategic way? Like you moved through the pandemic. You guys are up and thriving on a very successful level. So I'm just so curious on how you're doing it.
Baby, tiny, teeny baby steps, lots of tears and lots of Reiki and support. But it really is like, I think one of the things that I do is I walk the talk, like I have to. One of the principles of Reiki is that all healing is self-healing. So everything starts with your own practice. So, and I believe that's true of many, many disciplines. So where you're helping people on a daily basis, or if you're a coach or an energy healer or anything like that, you need to take care of yourself first before you can take care of other people. So I was doing so much Reiki over the past couple of years, self-healing, meditation, loads of journaling, and lots of connecting into my guides and my team and connecting into the intention of the business. So to make sure that I've got that sort of clear energy feeling of which way I'm headed in the world, and making sure that I'm connecting to that reason why I'm in this business, the reason why Luna Holistic exists and who we are serving and the big ripple that our work makes. And coming back to that, anytime I wasn't sure about which direction to take, we did have to move our offices in the middle of all of that, and then got into another little lockdown and out of lockdown and all of the things that have happened since then. And so just every single step and every single question coming back to, okay, so now that we're here, this is why we're in business. We're in business to help people with Reiki. And how do we keep on doing that? And really tuning into that core feeling has been really huge. And then as much as possible, supporting each other and staying connected through messaging and things like that. And then also just a lot of gentleness. I think it's been very, very hard couple of years for many, many people for lots of different reasons. It hasn't hit everybody the same way. And so when you're dealing with really harsh things, I think gentleness is always the way to go, like getting really soft, being very forgiving, being very kind to first yourself. You're doing the best you can and you're doing great. And just repeat that over and over and over again. I gave my husband a sad script. I basically wrote out, this is what you say when I'm sad and I feel like I'm lost and I don't know what I'm doing. You just say, you're doing a great job. What you're doing makes a difference. Keep on going. Stop crying. It's going to be okay. And then a couple jokes in there so that I laugh. I get over myself and I can get back to work. So that's also a really good thing if you have a partner or a friend, is you just say, I just need another human being to read this to me. I don't care if you mean it. So that's been my strategy.
I love it. And those sound really close to the Reiki ideals. Maybe the listeners would want to know the Reiki ideals.
Oh, yeah. So the Reiki ideals, I wrote a whole book about it, The Secret Art of Happiness.
Sure did. Best book ever.
So the Reiki ideals are 5 principles for leading a happy, joyful life. They're called The Secret Art of Happiness is their other name. And the first one is, just for today, I will let go of anger. I will let go of worry. I will be grateful for my many blessings, and I will do my work, my spiritual work, honestly, and I'll be kind to myself and every living thing. And just coming back to those over and over and over again are so key to moving forward. But yeah, thank you for asking. It's been a challenge, but it's also been such a great joy, because being able to move through all the ups and downs of life and to support other people through it has been absolutely amazing. I've learned a lot. I learned so much about Reiki, so much about Reiki the past couple of years. It kind of blows my mind how powerful it is and how much it can support people through all kinds of things, and just how much it is insulated from what we're going through as practitioners. It's really cool because you are able to learn these techniques to stay in this very clear space. So even if you're going through a lot personally, you can still support people with a lot at the same time. And because the Reiki energy is flowing through you like you're a wire, you're a conduit of it, but it isn't your energy. So, which is just kind of defies logic, because there aren't many things where it doesn't matter so much about the practitioner. But we'll probably pick that up in other episodes of just the mechanics of how Reiki works and where it comes from and why, and maybe a little bit of how distance Reiki works, because that's also kind of mind-blowing and gets us into like cool things like quantum physics. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here with me, Alisia. This has just been totally awesome chatting with you, learning some of the tools you use.
Thank you very much, Geneva, for being the most amazing leader ever and having me on this episode. I'm very grateful for you.
Thank you. I'm very grateful for you as well. It's awesome having you here. If you, the listener, have questions for us, we love to hear from you. You can record a little blurb on lunaholistic.com/podcast. And we'll probably answer that in an upcoming episode. You can ask anything about Reiki, about chakras, about energy, anything at all, the nature of the universe, and we'll do our best to answer it for you. Please subscribe on Apple Podcast and Spotify. And if you have 3 seconds, please rate and leave a review, because that really helps get us in front of more people. And you never know what your little 5-star thing might really change somebody else's day. So thank you so much. Thank you, Alisia, and thank you for listening. We'll catch you next time. Thank you for joining us on the Luna Holistic podcast. We're so grateful that you are here. If you've got a question, we'd love to hear from you. Go to lunaholistic.com/podcast, and we'll answer you in an upcoming episode. Be sure to subscribe to our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And also please rate, because you never know where your little 5 stars will go to shine light into somebody's heart today. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.